Do you know why certain things in movies bother some people and not others? Take a look at these comments. This viewer was bothered by something in the plot of Cinderella, another by the behavior of a certain gremlin in the movie Gremlins. And there are many more examples like this. You may have experienced this behavior yourself, or you may be someone who finds such ambiguities in movies annoying. Perhaps you have recently watched a movie with a friend who is like this, who gets annoyed by the inconsistencies in the story of a movie and then can't enjoy the movie as much, while others don't seem to be bothered by the ambiguity and just enjoy the movie. Why is that? If I would tell you the answer right now, what kind of storyteller would I be? Let me at least build some suspense. To generalize this idea about movies, movies are just one form that stories can take. Stories take many forms, such as novels, series, or even short video commercials. And now to circle back to the initial question. What is this personality trait? This difference between individuals that can provide an answer. Two individuals noticed this incomprehensive part of the story, but one was annoyed and the other wasn't. So why and how does this difference between individuals affect their engagement with a story? These observations and questions were the starting point for this research. Our research team took a different context than movies, namely advertising stories, but the psychological processes of engaging with a story are likely to be the same or very similar for other types of stories. Hans Baumgartner from Pennsylvania State University in the United States and Kyun Choi from Dongguk University in South Korea and I conducted research to answer these questions. The research was published in a scientific article based on our results. The link to the article is in the description. In the following, I will briefly summarize a main point of the article to answer this question about individual differences. So let's get right into it. When individuals immerse themselves in a story, such as viewers in a movie or readers in a book, they enter a particular psychological state that is essentially a cognitively and emotionally engaging and vicarious experience which is empathic in nature. You may have had this experience when you watched a movie and felt with the characters and wondered what was going on to happen next in the story. Colloquially, people might say that someone is lost in a story, and researchers have referred to this psychological state as narrative transportation, absorption, or immersion. This transportation or immersion in the story world leads people to adopt beliefs and attitudes consistent with those presented in the story. For example, when people are transported into a movie, they like the movie more, or when they are transported into an advertisement promoting a brand, they like the brand more. In short, transportation leads to persuasion. So it is important for stories to metaphorically transport viewers into their story worlds, but elements in the story that cause incomprehension are a problem. You see, if people don't understand what's going on in a story, they start to wonder and maybe even get annoyed. Consequently, it is clear that they will fall out of the transported state, that is, they will no longer be engaged with the story. A reason for such incomprehension in advertising stories can be that the link between the product and the story is weak. For example, sometimes you don't know what the product is doing in the ad. Has this ever happened to you? If so, you get the point. If you have seen ads with a weak link between story and product, let me know in the comments, I would be interested. Now, here's the kicker. Not everyone reacts the same when they don't understand something in a story. This individual difference or personality trait is a psychological concept introduced by Kruglanski called need for closure. Need for closure refers to an individual's tolerance for ambiguity and desire for definitive answers. Clearly, stories have some ambiguity built into them by nature. This is one reason why people sometimes have very different opinions about what a story is telling us. This led to our first hypothesis, which was a moderating effect of need for closure. That is, we believe that people with a higher need for closure would be more affected in their transportation by comprehension. In other words, two people who understand a story to the same extent will not be equally transported into the story if they differ in their need for closure. Or, in other words, if the high need for closure individual does not understand the story, they will disengage from the story, which means less transportation. But the low need for closure individual will not mind not understanding the story as much and will be relatively unaffected in their transportation. Now, our model tested this idea empirically in the context of story ads, also known as narrative ads. We also tested other hypotheses, such as the effect of transportation on attitudes toward the brand featured in the ad, but I will limit this talk to focus on one hypothesis, which revolved around the need for closure idea we just discussed. In two studies conducted in Austria and South Korea, we showed participants a commercial for Diesel or Paco Rabanne and then asked them to answer a questionnaire. What were the results? We found support for the hypothesis primarily in Austria, a Western culture. I will comment only briefly on the results of the regression analysis. In Austria, we see that the interaction between transportation and need for closure is significant. And this is also supported by examining need for closure, the moderator, at 3 levels, where we see that the effect of comprehension on transportation increases as need for closure increases. You see that the effect of comprehension on transportation depends on need for closure. In Korea, the interaction was not significant, but the pattern of probing the moderator, need for closure, at 3 levels was similar, where the effect of comprehension increased slightly as need for closure increased as well. Of course, this study also has limitations, but as I said, I will limit my discussion to this key point about comprehension and need for closure. For more results and more information, please refer to our article. Maybe the next time someone complains about the incomprehensibility of a story, you might think about your personal preference for need for closure. Wait, the word closure was not the cue to end this video. If you found this video interesting, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. I hope videos like this will make research more accessible to more people and inspire people to get interested and involved in science. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and see you in the next video. Time for closure.